I don't know if I ever told you guys why I started making YouTube videos. Maybe I mentioned it once or twice in some of my videos, but it was Elliot Hulse, actually. If you know Elliot, he was the guy that really inspired me to make YouTube videos. I remember, gosh, what was it? I mean, it must have been 15 years ago or so, watching Elliot's videos on YouTube when I don't know. I was at a point in my life where I was really wanting to improve myself, and I saw him out there talking. And the thing that really impressed me about Elliot was that he was into lifting weights, which I was, and building yourself, but also really deep into the philosophy of things. And so he would have these talks, these philosophical talks, where he would really dig deep into things. He read a lot of books and he had a lot of knowledge, obviously, in the fitness space, but he was answering people's questions. And the way that he answers those questions, it really inspired me. And what I actually ended up doing was taking that same approach as a software developer. And I started answering software developers' questions with philosophical answers. And I really enjoyed that. That's the reason why I got into YouTube, is he inspired me to do that. And it was kind of crazy. You know, I had always looked up to Elliot as sort of this role model for me, the kind of the guy that I wanted to be like. And as I started to grow on YouTube, and and I started making more and more videos and becoming more like that, I eventually reached this point where, a couple of years ago, I spoke on stage with Elliot, and that was quite an honor, to be on the same stage speaking with my mentor and being friends with my mentor, the person who I had looked up to and who had inspired me to create my own videos on YouTube. And it's kind of interesting because, and the reason why I'm saying all this is because just the other day, or yesterday actually, I stumbled upon one of Elliot's videos, and the video is called, let me see what it was called here, but it's called Let Go of the Past. And let me just bring it up on the screen here real quick here, just so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. And I'd encourage you to watch this video if if you're, let's say, in your late 30s or 40s and you have kind of reached your peak and you're in this trough, this catabasis is what he calls it, what Robert Bly calls it an iron John. But he shows this diagram here of, if you can see the page, the knight, the warrior, and then you have this kind of peak at the warrior here, and then you have this catabasis before you become a king, and then finally an elder. And what's interesting to this, about this to me, is that it seems that Elliot's kind of in the same phase, like he's echoing the exact same things that I am going through. He's 44, I'm 43. He had reached the top of his game, right? And in fact, he reached it higher than me because he reached this, YouTube stardom. But in different ways, we had different paths, right? I was at one point this Pluralsight author, just making a ton of money in the software development space, and my books are still popular in the software development space. But I was sort of rising in that area, and then I started Bulldog Mindset, and wow, I mean, I started running these marathons and getting in just ridiculous shape and just getting jacked and ripped. And I started learning how to talk to women and pick up, and I was getting good at that. And I became a coach, coaching other guys, going to Vegas and coaching other guys. And I was reading all these books and just growing in that. And I would get on camera and I would make these videos that came from this just place of passion. I'd answer people's questions. I was on the road myself, and I wanted to share my journey with people. And there was life, there was heart, there was emotion in the videos that I was creating, and it was fantastic, right? I mean, it felt great. And every month, the income would go up. I was making a lot of money, eventually from my Pluralsight courses, but I had my real estate investments, and I had a lot of money sitting in the bank, and it just kept on growing. Membership would grow, and Bulldog Mindset, the channel would grow. Everything that I touched, it required work, but I would see progress and growth in that. And I felt like this warrior, right? That the top of it. And it was just this great, this feeling of, conquering every day. I can go back in my mind and I can remember runs and on my running path and what I was thinking and sort of how my life was on this just trajectory of going up, of becoming the strongest version of myself, of becoming the man that I wanted to be, and just seeing success in so many areas. And then, and I think it started with the unraveling started with the divorce that I went through, but things shifted. That warrior that I was, he was no longer there in the sense that drive, that passion that was fueling it was gone, because I had already sort of conquered. I'd already climbed the mountain, and he was talking about in this video about how, young men, if you're still there, if you're in this point of climbing the mountain, congratulations to you, and that's great, and that's what I've been trying to kind of say on this channel to a lot of you guys. It's weird because I'm in a weird place because I can't really do this journey with you anymore, right? Captain Sinbad, a friend of mine and coaching client of mine, he's in that place, and I'm excited for him. And I love talking to him because I love that energy, and I love to hear about his journey and help him along that journey. But it's an exciting time to be the warrior, to be climbing up that hill. Enjoy climbing up that hill, because eventually you'll get there. And the interesting thing I think about this is that, I reached this point where, and it's not even that I would say that I fell. It's that I stepped down from the hill, right? I stopped doing the things that were that I could have kept on going down that path, but it's almost like I aged dramatically in a short period of time, right? I went from 25 to 40, because I'm not that same guy. And when I went back, at first, as I was going through this catharsis or catabasis, whatever you want to call it, but I kept on trying to get back to what I was doing before, right? I kept on trying to win those same battles and try to get that same feeling of excitement, exhilaration from that journey, from conquering as I was before. But my life was in a different place. It's in a different place now, right? As I stepped down from that place, and a lot of that place came from, the struggle as a man and going out and trying to really, I would say, conquer women in the sense of sexual prowess, right? Of being able to do that. And a lot of it came from, it wasn't just that, but it was also just, stepping into being a man and facing all these demons, these internal demons, right? And facing these fears. And once I had vanquished all of those, there were no enemies in the land. And so I got into that trough that Elliot's talking about here. He's in that same place. It's funny to see this because I know his story as well. I've seen it. I've seen when he was at the top. I've seen as he's gone through many different changes and made desperate attempts to try to get back there, but he hasn't been able to. And it's the same reason that I haven't been able to. And they're very related in the sense that, one, you have to understand that you're not in that phase anymore. I'm not in that phase anymore. I'm not in that warrior phase. I cannot have the come up in that way because I've already conquered those demons. I can't reconquer those demons, right? It's almost like, what is that show, or is the movie where they have to let some of the bad guys out again so that they can so there's some more crime so that they can have something to do, the superheroes. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's sort of like that. I can't really do that. Right? I mean, I could get fat and whatever, and but that wouldn't make very much sense now would that's kind of silly, right? And he titled this video, I think, letting go of the past, or let go of the past. And obviously this was a message for him as much as it was for anyone else, and a message for me in the sense that, you can't do that anymore. Like those demons already conquered, that mountain is already climbed. So it's time to climb a new mountain. But before you can do that, you have to go into this catabasis or catharsis, whatever it is, this downhill, this trough here, right? You got to go down. And that's where I have sunk down to. As you know, it's funny as I'm looking at my older videos and I'm seeing, oh, I was getting like 15, 20,000 views per video. And then I was getting 5 to 10, and I started complaining about that. And now here you go, John, here's 300 or 400 views per video. And yeah, I know I switched the channel and everything, but even then, I started creating these super high quality videos. I started doing things and trying to get back to where I was, thinking that that is what would make me happy. And so, I started running again, and I started trying to like really get on top of it. I was just beating myself up because I couldn't get back into that mode. And a lot of it, again, is because my life has changed. I've conquered these demons. I've also gotten married, and I have different priorities in my life. It's not about necessarily proving myself so much and that growth anymore. It's about refining those elements. And so, yeah, so it's interesting. And I think it was hopeful to me to hear Elliot talking about this, to know that he's going through the same thing and that he's making his rise back up, and that the king phase is the next phase after the warrior, but you've got to go through this trough. And I can see it. I can see myself starting to come out of this and back on the way up. But a lot of it is letting go of the old, right? It almost even, I was starting to think, like, do I even make videos anymore? Is that even just the past? And I do think that I still make videos, but I'm not going to try and make the same videos that I used to make. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not going to be the same Bulldog mindset. From time to time, and you see the same thing. Elliot tried to do his Yo Elliot again and answer these questions, but he doesn't have the same spirit. It's so funny to watch someone else, where it's because I was like, man, what happened to all this inspiration and discipline and wisdom that I had? Where did it go? What happened to it? And it's still there. It's still there. It's just that it's not where I'm living on a daily basis anymore. When I was living that on a daily basis, I could just whip out my phone as I'm walking out in Barcelona and start talking about, these subjects that were near and dear to my heart. But there's also, it's interesting. He sent me a video. I messaged Elliot after watching that, and he sent me this video of Dr. K, the ADHD gamer guy. I can't remember his actual YouTube channel, but he's got great content. I've seen his content, and he was being interviewed about YouTube, and he was talking about how burnout and creators and all these things, and he was talking about how it's sort of like when you have something to lose. In fact, let me pull up what I sent Elliot about this, because he wanted my input on this. I said, surrendering the guarantee of success, free from expectation. That's what created the initial success. And that's an interesting thing about that, is it's like when you don't have success, you've got nothing to lose, and you're just putting your all into the thing, and you don't have any expectation. But when you do have that expectation, you're making these videos and you're doing the things expecting something, right? And I always tell you to be free from expectations, but this is true in this regard as well. And so I realized that that's the emotion, the passion, it left from my videos, and that's the key thing, and that's what he talks about in that interview. So it's really interesting, just to think about all these things and to kind of put it into place. But it is helpful. Just like I think one of the most valuable things in my life that really helped me to actually climb that mountain initially was, there was this point where I was doing these pluralsight courses, and it was tough, and I had a lot to go, and I was just feeling just burnt out and defeated. And even though I was making progress, and I listened to the audio version of The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, one of my favorite books, for the first time, and I actually just started listening to it over and over again. I remember running on the beach, and I realized that there was someone else, that I was not facing this problem alone, that there were other people, that this was a common problem of fighting resistance. And then when I felt like I wasn't alone, it felt a lot easier to fight that battle. And so, this it's kind of the same thing here as I watch Elliot. Not that I want to see his downfall, but I mean, I see him rising up again and standing up. And I've seen that he's going through the same thing. And I look at his videos, I look at the things that he's saying, and I see myself. I see that feeling of having been on top, and now watching. It's like I talked about before. It's like I'm watching everyone pass me by. It's kind of funny, right? Like, watching a lot of people that end up passing me by. And it's not that, I need the money or the fame or anything. It's just, the mission, the purpose. And that's what's been missing. And so, and that's why also some of you guys are like, don't do the relationship coaching thing, John. And, just bring back the old Bulldog mindset. And it's not what I don't want to do that anymore. It doesn't have the same meaning to me anymore. Like, I'm happy to teach things to you guys from a different perspective. And I've got the catalog of Bulldog mindset stuff. Like I said, if you haven't joined, check out the membership. That's the archive of all the things. There's a new AI in there also where you can access all of my videos, like the entire archive, and ask it any question, which is a pretty cool feature. A lot of people are using that. But yeah, that's why I'm moving towards, what really is meaningful to me right now is helping men in relationships. And that's what I want to do. And so if you're interested in that, by the way, I haven't officially started the relationship coaching. I've taken on a few people just as sort of some tests, but you can send me an email, john@bulldogmindset.com. I'll give you a discounted price for the coaching to start off as you're helping me get this new thing going off the ground. And, I will help you with that. That I can guarantee you. There's no doubt in my mind. If you need help with relationships as a man, I absolutely, without a doubt, can help you 100%. It will be worth the money for you because it is an area that I am extremely passionate about. I am well read on the subject. I have a lot of experience in the subject, and I have had a lot of success with a lot of guys because I know exactly what to do. Like there's not a question in my mind about these things. And so that's also why I'm moving in that direction as well, by the way, is because I am sure of this. And so it's going to be tough though. It's going to be tough because there's going to be a dip. There's going to be a dip. You know what I mean? As I'm making this transition, there's already a dip in revenue. It's hard. I'm like, just kind of want to keep the lights on, which, it's a conscious choice because there was a point where I didn't have to go down this road. I could have kept on doing what I'm doing. I could have kept growing the Bulldog mindset and the business in that way, but it wasn't enjoyable to me anymore. It wasn't, why am I doing this? If I don't enjoy this thing. So yeah. So I'm trying to let go of the expectation, surrender the guarantee of success and just do the thing for the thing. That's why I made this video today. As I said, okay, well, this is something I'm interested in. This is something I want to talk about. And so I'm gonna make this video. And I am working on a high quality video right now. It's gonna be fun. I'm doing some editing. It's fun. So that's gonna be coming out. It's probably gonna come out on a brand new channel. I know, again, but I want that channel to be a new thing. At least that's what I'm thinking right now at this point. And we'll see what happens. But I appreciate all you guys who are sticking around, who are here. If you wouldn't mind dropping a like on the video, that will help me out. And think about these things. I would say that wherever you're at right now, it's coming. The day is coming where you'll hit that trough as well. And it's a period of growing, and it's not a bad thing. It's not something to be feared. It's a change. It's a transformation. Do I miss the days of the Bulldog mindset of, that fire of coming up, of being the warrior, fighting the world? Yeah, I do miss those days, if I'm honest. But there's better days coming. There's a better thing coming. There's a better battle. There's a higher high that's coming, because I'll be taking the wisdom that I've learned from that and applying that to my current life. And I already see it. I already see it being fruitful in the way that I change how I'm working out and my diet and the way that I'm working, and realizing that I now have the discernment to live by a different set of rules, a set of rules that I am creating. I have judgment now to a degree. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that you shouldn't still have rules and guidelines for what you're doing, but I can see that now. It is different. So, all right, I've rambled on long enough. We'll see you next time.